Yeah, well, I'm a cutie.
May, hello, my love. Hi, dear. Thank you so much for the 11 months. Why is my camera not showing up? What the fuck? Why is my stream camera not showing up? What the fuck? Hello? Oh, that's why. I'm dumb. I didn't set that up properly. I'm smart. Should be up now? There we go. I know how to do this. Though for whatever reason, it's having my feet show up on the ground, which is annoying. Okay, alrighty. Alright, so we are going to the Lying Fork tonight because Aria has decided she wants to go see what this place is all about. She's found it. So that's what we're going to do. Now, what music do I want for this? That's a good question. What do I want for this? This'll do. For now. We'll probably change it up later. Alrighty. But yes. Thank you, my dear and beloved, for the resub. I appreciate it. Alright, so let's go see what this place is all about. I mean, granted, it's probably going to be like Inkwell anyways, but with a different community behind it, I guess, is a better way of looking at it. So it'll be interesting for her. Let's mirror. Turn that off. Alright. Who is actually in here? I know one person's in here. I just want to know who else is in here. Oh, this will definitely be interesting. Alright. Oh boy. Oh. Let's... What the fucking shit? Yeah, it's gonna be a weird night. I can already tell. Alright.
Quote-unquote snuck in. Again in space that one time. Remember when I fell into a pot of boiling water?
same wire, that one just floating about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically they're found. Innocent. You can communicate with them.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Sorry.
Hmm.
It's only so many words you can send per message. As far as I remember, because there are some limitations to them, but.
As is someone who goes sending shows and things and elders.
You forgive me for asking, but what was that you were singing? Or humming, I should say.
Oh, just a little... a little song from... the world that I departed a long time ago. Because I just couldn't handle the salt. But...
Oh?
it's a song typically heard in a place called Bilgewater.
Oh. Never heard of that place before. Though, going by the name, it's probably not necessarily a nice place to be.
Indeed not. I will have to say, you have the most curious of appearance.
Oh?
Reminds me of someone.
I hope in a good way.
Yeah. They're slightly bittersweet sometimes. It all depends on the perspective that one might have. And what, pray tell, might your name be?
My name is Aria. It's a pleasure to meet you.
A beautiful name. My name is Q.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Q.
What are you, if I might ask?
I'm a harpy. Well, half harpy, I guess. But a harpy nonetheless.
It's curious. There are not many harpies who develop features like yours.
Probably the other part of me would be the reason why.
Other part of you?
Well, I did say I was only half harpy.
And the other half, if I might inquire?
Human, from what I've been told.
Fair enough. There was more the feathers upon your head. There's more what I am only stop. It seems that there is a war in another world, and it's leaking over to this one in my general vicinity. Anyways.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Doesn't sound pleasant.
That phoenix? Oh, that's because that is a phoenix. Yes, alright. Yeah, that's right. That's a phoenix. If I'm not mistaken, that's either a phoenix or a firebird. I do believe she's of a breed of harpy, though. I don't know them personally, but I've seen them around.
Oh. Maybe I'll go talk to them later.
Perhaps. So what brings you to this place? Just wanderings?
For the most part. I saw this place while flying around some time ago. Never really, well, decided to come visit until recently. Well, I was in the area and decided, well, see what it's like, perhaps. I like visiting new places, meeting new people.
Well, there are plenty of new places and new people to meet. Sometimes. It's rather quiet this evening, but I have a feeling that it's almost as if the war that's leaking over into this universe might be the reason. Anyways. explosions from another world, far beyond this one, that are driving me up the wall, and most likely dogs and cats.
Well, judging by the sounds I'm hearing, probably a lot of other people too.
Indeed. I regret to be anyone who requires sleep right now.
Well, hopefully at least I can find a place that, well, there's no incessant booming.
Fair enough.
Mm.
But, yes. To be completely straightforward with you, darling, I actually quite enjoy harpies. There was one that was born of a dream that I very much was interested in watching his journey through his story. They were a raven harpy. A very tall, bold individual. They came here every once in a while a long time ago. His name was Nevermore. I'm not quite sure what has ended up happening to him. I think that he's residing in a forest that I visit every once in a while. I'm pretty sure I hear him screaming at me every once in a while.
It's not often I see harpies around here, which is interesting, but it's always nice to meet them.
Well, alas, to my knowledge, at least when I've encountered, the ones I've encountered, that is, they typically live upon floating isles above the walking ground.
Well, the ones that I've encountered at least, and at least for where I come from, not so much floating isles, but we live here on the ground, for the most part. There was one that I have become very good friends with. He was raised in, I think he mentioned something along the lines of like a cliffside area. I'm not sure where. I don't recall him ever mentioning where. And then for myself, well, I come from a place that we call Esper Erin. It is a forest.
Esper Erin.
It's a forest. Some fair ways away from here. Several hours worth by flight. At least, well, flight for me. It is...
Elvish?
No. Though there are elves nearby, I remember that. They used to come by every once in a while. But for the most part, it's just... harpies. Full harpies, half harpies. Living together. Taking care of each other and...
What is a full harpy in your world?
Well, for them, it's... Well, they don't have hands like I do. They don't have the human feet like I do. They have the, the regular, like, I guess, bird talons.
That is what Nevermore was, I guess, in that case. I've met a various breed of harpy here and there. Some have even prehensile feathers, which is a very interesting development. Ability to grab with their very feathers.
Oh, Echo is able to do that. That was the other harpy that I become very good friends with. His hands are like that. They are like the way you described.
Interesting. Well, what I would like to do is apparently have a mind of my own. It is leaving me
Well, don't look at me. I'm not I don't see it running around anywhere.
Fair enough, darling. Fair enough. No, my mind has been drifting a lot recently due to, well, not to burden you with the details, but I've just been very weighed down. You'll have to forgive me if I ever happen in the course of, if you ever are around and whatnot, see me if I ever seem distant. At least for the time being. Hopefully it'll be solved soon. I have a strong feeling that it will be, but I also have the strong feeling that someone needs to make sure that they keep their creative mind moving.
Ah. So if you don't mind my asking you then, what exactly are you? Where do you come from?
Oh, that is but quite a long story when it comes from where I come from. But what I can tell you is that I am a Twillin. We are creatures born of balance. And what that means is it is our task to keep the balance between creation and destruction, life and death, to ensure that the eternal cycle ever moves forward.
That sounds like a very heavy burden indeed.
It's, well, that's not quite the burden that has been crushing me lately. Unfortunately, you see, I'm not my true self, so to speak. I am but a piece of who I used to be, or who I am, who I will be. Time is relative. Past and present tense, doubly so. But due to actions that have caused the unfortunate passing of my true self, I myself am burdened with the weight of my people in taking care of them. I myself was not ever created with that intent. My entire intent was to actually not be connected to my people so that I may better interact with things that could endanger things. Shut up!
I see. But something I'm assuming went wrong.
To give you a little bit more insight as to what I am by Twillin, we are creatures of three things: magic, soul, and emotion. Many people will often refer to it as being an empath. We are incredibly empathic creatures. Emotions both can empower us or destroy us. To that end, I experienced heartbreak. And for Twillin, heartbreak can be fatal. I myself typically am strong enough to withstand it. Unfortunately, an evil side of myself has been draining my power, and thus I am unfortunately and unwittingly, well, crippled. So it kind of took its toll.
That does seem very unfortunate and complicated.
Yes, unfortunately I gave in to my despair when it came down to it. But luckily, all hope is not lost, as the vessel in which my soul resides is still intact and ever present within a crystal.
Hmm.
And thus, I have to ask those who are my allies and champions to assist me in dispatching the foe and restoring myself to how I used to be. So that way I, myself, don't have to worry about it anymore. I have enough on my plate as it is.
Hmm. Sounds like a very tough task indeed.
It will be tough, but I believe those who I have assembled for it are up to task.
Hmm. Well, that's good at least.
I have a fair number of comrades and people in my long, extensive travels here.
Hmm.
And I would have to actually forgive you. I do frequent this place quite often, but unfortunately, there's not a number of souls here that I actually know. So I can't go around and help introduce you to some people.
Well,
They do have food and drink inside, should you wish to go in and partake.
perhaps. I am fine for right now, though, for a while.
There's a lovely bard who comes here. Well, twins. Twins who share a body, that is. They're very, well, they're very important to me. They're one of my champions, but they are also an individual who, assists in the management of this place, and I quite enjoy when they sing. It's ever so delightful.
I do love music, so perhaps maybe sometime I'll come back and maybe I'll get to meet them.
Indeed, darling, indeed. Are you aware of a location known as Orlando Soccer?
I have heard of it. I have... I believe I have seen it in my travels, but I have not actually been there yet.
Fair enough. And what of a location known as Misty Shores?
That one I do not know.
Misty Shores is probably a little bit of a better experience for someone like yourself. They are an adventurers guild. Though I'm not quite sure the last time they went adventuring. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that 3 of my personal champions frequent there, and I go there myself sometimes. It's actually, would you call her an harpy? Oh dear, I don't know. Would it be appropriate to call an interlucky a harpy? Neither here nor there. Though I guess interlucky is actually a very broad concept when it comes down to it. Sorry, I'm lost in thought. There was an individual that I recently took to the Misty Shores and introduced to people there. She was a lovely soul that actually I was aware of their story, and I was surprised when I happened to stumble upon them. I was ever so eager to see and learn.
What were they like?
Watch them grow. I'm so very eager. A curious sort.
Let's see how long it takes for Aria to recognize who this is. Because I know who it is.
Most likely. Well, no. There is no most likely about it. They probably used to be bright-eyed and oh so happy. Unfortunately, the course of their travels brought them great despair. In the end, it was ultimately their downfall. No matter what, though, at the very end of it all, they still... Every bit of their effort, they thought they were doing the right thing. They thought they had found the truth, the answer to the question.
What question was that?
My mind is unfortunately a bit hazy on the finer details of the question, but effectively, in their own terms, at least is something that is more poignant in my mind. The question is wherein lies happy?
What an interesting question. If you wouldn't mind, would you describe them to me?
They were a tall sort, fairly tall considering my own height. Dark hair. They had what appeared to be, I do not know if it was a part of their outfit or if it was actually a part of them. 2 wings that draped over their shoulders.
Elegy.
Their name was...
You're talking about
Yes.
Elegy.
Then... Yes, I am.
I had the pleasure of getting to meet them recently.
Well, that is quite delightful that I'm so happy that she has made more connections elsewhere.
She was very interesting to talk to. With very interesting questions that she asked.
I have this strange feeling that she too was taken aback by your appearance. Maybe not outwardly.
She did say I reminded her of someone. She didn't necessarily elaborate, but she did say that I did remind her of someone.
On that I could agree. And it's a good thing.
Well, that's good then.
If anything, if I'm incorrect in my assumptions, the person that you remind them of was ever so happy and only wanted to bring happiness to others, especially the one that watched over her.
I guess we are similar in that regard. Well, not so much. Well, maybe. I guess for me it's more of... I like to find people. I like to meet people. I like to hear their stories. And see what they're like. See what places that are around the world.
Same. You and Elegy must have gotten quite along then, considering her interests were somewhat the same.
It was a pleasant conversation.
I can say that thus far my conversation with you has been quite pleasant. So, I am also happy that you happened to stumble upon me on this day. I'm not often here on these days. Unfortunately, well, my responsibilities elsewhere have been taking their toll on me and a couple of my allies. So, recovery has technically been more in the forefront of my own mind.
Ah.
One of my good friends used to come here all the time, but unfortunately, I believe she started heading to a different location. The place known as the Wicarium. I believe it's something related to Fable? A friend.
I don't know.
dawns on me that
Haven't heard of that place before, so...
I might say names, and no one has any clue what I'm talking about, but...
Well, that's a place that I don't know of, so I've not heard of that place.
May I ask you a curious question? The crystal about your neck, what is it?
Was a gift from my big sister.
Oh.
Apparently, it is a mana crystal of some kind. Though, as far as I'm aware, I don't have magic. I don't. Well, as far as I'm aware, I don't. I can't use it. At least not that I've tried to attempt to do so.
I mean, everyone has the capacity to learn. Unless they are fatefully and woefully cursed. Cursed is actually a very derogatory term. I shouldn't use that term. What's the best way to put it? I have come across a number of individuals who are unfortunately severed from the weave. The magical interlays and knots that tie everything together on a magical scale.
I don't know.
My people are very much of magic, so I oftentimes try to, teach it and for so much. You'll have to forgive me, my mind's starting to wander again, it seems.
Nothing wrong with that. No, but as far as I'm aware, I do not have magic. But according to someone who took a look at it, it apparently is... Well, it's got magic inside of it somehow. I don't know. I
Well,
guess
it certainly resonates with something, I can tell you that much. I can sense it, at least.
I've been told
Hence
it's...
my curiosity, to say the least.
It is something that I've had for many, many years.
This, right here. This crystal is part of my very being. This is a twilight crystal. Source of my magic, it's what sustains me, to be completely honest.
Interesting.
Hence why there are rings about it. By our technical definition, these rings stabilize it as well as protect it, to make sure that, what we refer to it as is a nexus. It is a soul anchor of sorts, I guess is the best way to put it, even though that's quite a complex phrase in itself. But our people are typically complete souls. We do not usually have a body. Well, not in so much as to say, in our true form, we don't have a body.
That's interesting.
Yes, we come from a realm in which, to put it simply, if that realm was to touch this one, many people would be reduced to spirits.
Oh.
Wouldn't necessarily be bad, though I'm not sure if I would encounter another individual like my mother did, where a certain power of a goddess helped protect them and thus turned them into a wolf, but that's neither here nor there.
Hmm.
You'll have to forgive me. I keep just rambling. I feel almost embarrassed.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm always delighted to share stories with people, so
I'm always...
I get carried away sometimes. So if you are ever bothered by, you know, me running on and on and on, do let me know. I won't take any offense to it.
I am one who very much enjoys hearing stories. I like to bring them back home sometimes when I return and share them with the others of the village. Since many of them don't get to go out as far as I do. Not many of them are gifted with flight like I am.
Really? That's interesting.
Some of them, well, depending on how much harpy is in them. They may have the wings, but not necessarily the capacity to fly. Some may not have wings at all.
Me of the that does remind me of the harpy clan that Nevermore came across. An unfortunate thing, due to, well, circumstances beyond their control, male harpies are a rarity in their breed. And as such, they were forced to take on human mates. And after generations, eventually it caused, well, their more bird-like features to start to dwindle. And so it was more and more common that flightless forms of themselves were born.
I see. That sounds
Where was
really...
I? I was saying something. Wasn't I saying something?
You were talking about a group of harpies who were slowly losing their ability of themselves.
Yes. No, yes. That is ever true. Sorry. Being what I am, spirits like to gather around me sometimes, and they whisper to me. And when they do, I sometimes respond to them in kind.
I see.
One has remarked that telling stories is a good way to make sure you never forget them.
I would agree with that.
Which very much, well, to be completely straightforward, my people's purpose, well, beyond the one I had already mentioned, is to keep stories alive.
That sounds like a very important
Even
task.
after the time has came, many of us, especially myself, is almost solely something that I personally endeavor to do, is to indulge in people's stories so that they may be remembered. I want to make sure that everyone's story has a chance to be told appropriately and properly. And it is remembered fondly. And me and the Twillin being oftentimes a third party in pretty much everything, it can be a story told without bias.
That sounds lovely.
But Which is why, in a world, you and I share a very similar interest in wanting to enjoy and partake in people's stories.
Stories are, well, a reminder of what someone has gone through. A journey that one has taken. Remembering that in full is impressive, to say the least, for details are inevitably lost each time it's retold.
This is true. Which is why I and my people are ultimately a gift for these stories when it comes down to it. All of our memories, all of our knowledge resides within the nexus of souls. It is the heart of our people. Thanks to it, anything that we experience, anything that we see, is ever eternalized within.
That must be a great repository of knowledge indeed.
It is. And it's not without its vastness and also inability to, well, call upon knowledge on a whim's notice. Sometimes it does take some time for those who are versed in searching the archives, as it were, to figure out some things. Oftentimes people will come to me curious about something and wanting more information. And, well, sorry. Curious about information, and oftentimes I will look into it because we have been to a fair many different places and experienced different stories. Oh, how's Adrian? He's a, quite an interesting fellow. Works for an establishment known as the Purple Lotus. Does a fairly good job of it, too.
I think I might have seen him once or twice.
He gets around. If it isn't a room.
Ah, now that's a face I know.
Really? Interesting.
I see him every so often at
it's-
Inkwell.
Ah, that is the place that Elegy had mentioned.
Yes.
Never been. I only learned of its name when Elegy mentioned it.
It is a very lovely place. I often go there.
Ah, well, that's delightful.
It's a nice, quiet place. Much like this. Situated in a foresty area.
Hello, Dadarun.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And hello, member of MMR RP. Aria, was it right?
Not necessarily a member of MMR, just a visitor to them.
Alright. Hope I haven't missed anything. What's everyone doing?
Enjoying warm conversation.
Indeed.
Wonderful. This came all the way from City of Blackstone, so I'm a little bit late. I hope I haven't missed any performances.
No, it's been fairly quiet tonight, actually. A number of individuals who I'm familiar with being here aren't here tonight, but I have a feeling that, well, earlier, the sounds of a war from another dimension were leaking in around my vicinity, and I think that might be cause for alarm for some others.
Fair enough. My condolences, as you seem busy as per usual then.
I have my tasks, and well, they definitely exhaust me. Lives is late. But
Fair. Can't imagine what it
Life
could
is
have been
life.
without you in the group. See, Patreon's viewers or avatars.
Yes, my champions and my acolytes both do their best for me. Though unfortunately, I have lost a couple recently. They have decided to go their own way, and thus have turned in their crystals. But I have no worries. I've been gazing at people for quite some time, and I have some ideas as to who to possibly approach. There are whispers on the wind that I might even encounter a new soul that might be appropriate.
How interesting.
That's most fascinating. And you haven't changed your mind upon my interest of temple or such since the in-between is opening up its doors?
I don't recall. I must have forgotten this conversation.
There. I made something smaller for another deity. From Inkwell's little plane of paradise, I found out about Blink's life again.
How adorable.
A plan. A markable plushie I'm gonna give the god, but whenever it's gonna be a product is a different story. But a gift to Quill and Leaf and little shrine at my place.
It is quite adorable.
God still follows more worshipper, more power.
I see.
This is indeed true.
I wouldn't mind even worshipping Akiri and go long back.
I appreciate any faith that you may place in me, though I do not request it.
That's fair.
But I am ever...
was also come with consent.
Understandable. Consent is very important.
We have another observer.
Do we now?
Just a little...
Hello there, doggo.
Interesting.
By the way, Q,
You'll
you
find
know about
many
ebb and flow
interesting
better than I
places.
do. Could you answer a question for me that bothered me for the last 2 weeks?
Feel free to inquire. If
Random
it's nothing
folk,
personal.
They mentioned that ebb and flow were cursed for some time. Do you know anything about that?
For a period of time, they lack the ability to experience emotion. They recently had it broken, and all of the emotions that they felt during that period of time came rushing back to them.
That sounds terrible.
So why in the world I've endeavored to bring them to a location that I think would have dearly helped them. Hopefully, they will be able to do so the next time that that location is open to guests, I should say. Is the best way to put it.
Fair enough. I know they are shy of confrontation, so always good to ask. Blooddrake is usually not one for gossip.
Yes, well, to say the least, they are recovering, and I myself try my best to watch over them. If anything, I feel rather guilty that I did not check in on them sooner. I had been effectively asking individuals that knew them to provide information to me. And unfortunately, it seems that those individuals that I had inquired did not actually correctly communicate with her. So she was quite wounded.
That's terrible.
To me and others, they just said it was on a long business trip. Ludwig hasn't spoken with even myself about it. Until they came back and Mr.
It is
Brandl
what it is.
opened their snoot, if you will, about the curse. And as little as I can handle curses, it still pisses me off a little bit too much of not even being told about it.
The fact of the matter is that it was something that was very heavy for them to deal with. So
It definitely sounds like it.
emotions are incredibly important to a bard. Songs express the emotions of the soul.
Ah.
Very much.
I would very
Is
much
it
like to
Aria?
meet them someday, I think. I very much
Well,
enjoy music.
Should there ever be the possibility, I'd be happy to attempt to orchestrate something should it be necessary.
And if I see them, I will do likewise. I have helped the patrons before, since there are some that are introverts, and others also want to bother them.
I will say that I am in need to speak with them soon, as they are one of the individuals who will be helping me with a task here coming up. And
Understood?
I need to further inform them of the development. It's unfortunate. I usually would probably have such a conversation with them tomorrow, but if I remember correctly, the Misty Shores no longer opens tomorrow.
I'm not too
I believe it
acquainted
only
about
opens
Jazz
on
Guild.
Fridays.
Could be the case.
Yeah, I will find out soon enough. Oh, speaking of locations, I know that's one of the things that I was sitting here expressing to you. There's another location that I think, well, Daroon here has been there himself. It's a place called the Dream Tree Cafe. It's a white, lovely place, and it's a place that you don't even have to leave your home to go to.
Really now?
Simply fall asleep with the thought of the location in your head, and you will appear there.
It is really that easy. They
Interesting.
are one of my allies, even. So, Lord Alistair, the owner of that place, is a
Lord
rather
Alistair.
interesting artificer.
I could only imagine if he heard you call him Lord Alistair.
Well, it might be someplace
Well,
I
he
might
did
think to
help
look
with
into
the
then.
artifact. He sold me over a year ago, so he at least deserves a title for Melody.
Almost looked like she wanted to talk to us. The woman that just walked inside. It almost looked like she came over and almost looked like she wanted to talk to us for something.
Shame.
Well, if
I sometimes am not very, well, perceptive. But, which is rather interesting considering
it
my
was
race
in
are
your blank spot.
empaths.
You got it. So.
Fair enough.
And besides, there was a demi-human right behind you two, wandering around, and ran off. Quick as the wind. But yes,
People are
the
ever
green tree is rather
to wander
cozy,
to
and
and
they even
fro.
serve alcohol on occasion. If their
Oh.
baristas are nearby.
Should, yeah.
Usually just need to tap
Should
the
you
bar.
be able to catch their bartender on time?
Hmm.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? That baristas. Like a red moon.
Monty is ever a person with her own tasks on hand, but delightful person nonetheless. It's a very quiet place. Place that serves some of the best tea that I've ever experienced, but I guess that's because it's a dream.
So what is it? I guess it's a place in a dream, but like, what's the purpose of it then?
So, it was established initially by...
You can't see. Okay, now again. Holy
Oh
shit.
dear.
Oh, that hurt my eye.
Goodness. As I was saying, the proprietor, Alistair, as well as his fiancée, Lady Astaria, created it as a respite for adventurers who are possibly stressed out. Due to his knowledge of dream magics, Alistair created effectively a relic that, should there be a mind that is incredibly stressed out, there is a chance that as it's wandering the dreamscape, it gets pulled into the dream tree, and they have a place for them to take a moment to be relaxed without fear of being harmed or hurt or forced to do things. It is a
Interesting.
place of pleasant dreams and chaos, depending on who's there.
True.
How
We do
interesting.
have the Emperor of Chaos, one of your acquaintance deities that goes there. The ever so shapeshifting. And on occasion we even have some other players. A marine, alien species of human. Sometimes for the Metaversians. But yes, relax, calm down, but... Have you ever seen one
My
of those
child
floating
actually
islands?
serves there.
Maybe perhaps one of
If
these.
you are of water origin, it even has a little pond. Right at a riverbank behind a giant tree that the cafe and bar resides inside.
Well,
Quite a fascinating choice of a design, if you ask me.
well, perhaps one of these nights I will attempt to go there. Sounds interesting.
Every Wednesday and every Sunday. I believe the plane is open.
I think those nights might be a little bit difficult for me. I am usually busy on those nights.
To be fair,
That's fair.
it actually operates typically earlier than most other locations. If you're familiar with Zafira time, it is typically open from 6 to 9 Eastern Zafira time.
Ah. Well, that might change things. But we shall see. We shall
It is
see.
typically a place that I often frequent before I end up going off to observe another reality for its story.
Ah.
Fair enough. But yes, 4 hours before Inkwell, and like I said, you only need to fall asleep anywhere. If you had to guess, falling asleep in a dumpster, being drunk from a club, some resting from a field.
Oh, actually, to be completely straightforward, it's also kind of an unfortunate thing, to be fair. Because dreams aren't the only thing that can show up there. Souls can as well.
true.
But we've had our fair moments where we've ended up encountering someone who is on their way from life to death.
Interesting.
But we give them comfort and help them on their way. Lady Astalia is ever a kind goddess. Though she can be quite vindictive when it comes down to it.
I see.
Tell me about it. Any wife that can shapeshift Alistair into a cat with a banana scarf. That's funny.
I forgot that she did that to him.
Oh my.
He also turns Ferris into a frog. No, not Ferris. It was Dexter. Dexter.
With the hypnotic eye sockets that I...
Yes,
We used
and
to have
the
a
tongue.
frog
that-
species in the old line before the rebuilding, actually. Wonder what happened with that frog, actually.
No clue, personally.
And if you are ambitious, you can even enter the dream bubble physically if you have enough resources. I had done that with a few tricks up my sleeve. I am open.
And if necessary, I myself am perfectly happy to open a gateway for you, should you really wish to. Go there, physically. I always like escorting people around to see new places, meet new people. As was the case for dear Elegy. I do
see.
hope to encounter her again soon, so that way I can introduce her to more people. I even wanted to take her to a location just because of the fact of, well, I'm out. Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. It seems that I've forgotten how to use the common tongue.
Don't be out there once in a while.
But yes,
We do need to
Go ahead.
give as much information as we can as... is the angel folk still wandering around, the twins? Rose and Lily and the others?
I'm familiar with them still being there. I've seen Lily on occasion on my way out, or in, depending on.
Should we give them a heads up in case they advertise for the others? That fiends and demons and devils are welcome, that they're not gonna be just bad upon entering the doors?
I'm pretty sure, considering what they've probably encountered on their travels, they're perfectly familiar with it. So I don't think they are... Well, I guess I shouldn't assume. You're not too worried about beings of the more sinister kind. Though, to be completely honest, the one devil that shows up is a sloth.
Hey, yeah, it's the gambler.
Huh.
I never cast the customer's name, but they used one of my slot machines last Fridays. Didn't win, but always fun. Ha.
Interesting.
Action.
Hi, Daisy.
Hello, Daisy.
Hello. Got my pendant.
Thank you for informing Aria about the Dream Tree bubble, or the cafe.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I got my pendant, by the way. Check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, congratulations!
Yeah.
In the center as it should be. Great show.
I'm official now.
Wonderful. As one of the sponsors, I'm never gonna say that of myself. But good to see the second wave has finally gotten out.
Yeah, finally.
Was it just the
Took a lot of waiting, though.
Mm-hmm.
No. That was covered pretty easily in the lesson.
Nah.
Oh, oh, oh.
I'm gonna order something to drink. I'm getting a little bit
Okay.
thirsty. It was nice seeing you, Q. And don't ever be a stranger. I see you once in a while. I don't even get hello.
You'll have to forgive me, darling. I often am distracted lately.
Fair enough, fair enough. And if you ever have questions, Q, me, and others are always willing to pry.
I appreciate it.
I swear, this blindfold is getting annoying to me. Don't worry too much about it. It is just the, well, consequences of my actions.
I see.
That's how they always get you.
Well, as you say to not worry about it, then I shall not.
I appreciate your trust in me then. I typically usually put it about my eye to, well, not concern those who might be a little bit more familiar with what it might mean. I think I'm going to slide over to this side because I feel like I have a better look of the place. You keep that up and you're going to make me want to sing. Quite the songbird, are we?
That's why my big sister calls me
I guess
Aria.
that's... And that is indeed what I was about to say. I guess that is why you were called Aria. Which makes it ever more the curious thing. Well, your name is Aria, and hers was Elegy.
A song of those who have come and gone. A song of the
A
departed.
song to remember. I wonder.
Hey, Arzix.
Aria? Well,
Hmm.
decided to walk into the and she got really loud, so I said, fuck that.
Yeah.
How's your night, mate?
It's going alright.
Look at here. And blood done much myself.
There is a fire, but also it's a glorified heater because it's not real fire.
What? Is there like
It's
too
not
many
that
people trying to burn themselves in there? Thought I might cook up a hot dog. Still what? Cook food? Yes, you can cook food on it. Then how come I
It's
can't
not
cook
that
people on
big.
it?
What the fuck?
How's that difference work? How does it know the difference between a
Mm.
Do
person
people just
and a person?
do that, I guess? Ugh. Half a year in this fragging realm and I still ain't getting used to shit. Oh, there.
Well, I mean, you have to be reaching a certain amount of heat for it to cook properly.
I...
Cook a hot dog properly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, same here. I don't bloody know. And to be honest,
I don't ask questions.
It's better
I'm
to
too
not
sober
ask
to care
sometimes.
myself.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to not ask.
Been learning that myself here. I'm just too sober to care at some point.
The lock. But
Yeah,
the
but like a
heat
small
from the
person
fire
can fit
is
in
just
there.
like
Mr. Isaacs, I have a new drop chassis.
because you can
I think there's a conspiracy.
Well, newish. It's essentially my old chassis
Not cook a
refurbished.
hot dog or cook a person.
Gotcha.
I don't think you can't like
Also,
have both.
I actually have a mouth now.
Bullshit going on, and that just
Which is nice. I can actually eat things.
Because I stop questioning things after people say it's magic. Because fucking, I don't know, works different like every other time. I don't know. So is it magic?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, dude.
I don't know.
On that shit. That just makes no sense to me.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, but can I cook a hot dog in this? That's like that's the key question. Is this magic? Can I cook a hot dog?
Confused.
I'm always confused about things that just there's no point in questioning.
Plus, they
Yeah, but
would rather you buy food from them here.
How are you doing?
Doing alright.
I cooked it myself. Or maybe like a marshmallow would probably be more applicable than a hot dog.
Well, that's
but
wonderful
I'm
to
just trying to
hear.
understand if this is like not painful and I can just stand
How
in
are
it,
you?
or
How's your
a normal
eye?
person who could stand in it, then could I cook a hot dog?
It's fine, darling.
Shit, you know what?
The
Why don't
only
we ask
reason
this
that
I think so.
do this is to keep people who know what it is from being concerned and thinking that I might be a danger to the public.
That's a real fire.
Understandable,
Oh, so I
I
could cook
guess.
a person. Alright, I mean a hot dog in there.
Perhaps. Would you be interested in meeting someone I just met today?
I mean, like,
Over here?
establishing, you know, what can and cannot be done.
Hello.
I guess if it's a regular fire, I don't need to establish that. It's kind of the baseline.
This here is Aria. They are an individual who quite enjoys stories, just like myself.
Yeah, why, how come
Yes.
this one can't be the real one and that one be the fake one? Like, I'm not
It's
gonna
nice
hunt
to
over
meet you.
and
I'm
cook
Gwendolyn.
Magic.
It's nice to meet you, Gwendolyn.
That shit was weird in my room. It's weird in this room.
I'm trying to find out anything more about your book.
She's gonna pull out the manuscript and she's just gonna flip through the pages.
8 of them tried to burn themselves alive here. You ever meet like a
Nothing
normal
really.
person who does
It's
magic?
pretty much the
No,
same
they're
as it
always
was
fucked
before.
up and weird.
From when I last showed you.
Usually though, they're pretty cool. I mean, like,
Well,
coin
that's
flip,
good. So
sometimes
long as
they're
there's no
an asshole,
chance. Anxious.
Sometimes they're like the chillest dude you'll ever meet. Usually depends on whatever kind of shit they pull. Though.
One here is actually, well, that book is them. It's their story.
Others I've met are honestly
Oh.
give me chills.
Yeah.
Usually have like a really bad taste in fashion too. Like, I don't know, some people can do the robe and have
I ended
that.
up running away
Most
from
people
my book,
can't.
and then I
Just
found
carry
it
that on
again.
in your pocket. Holy shit.
Robe and hat.
But it's
That's
different
really
than
fucking
what it was
weapon.
before.
They got more call. It's like
Interesting.
collars and such.
I mean, I wouldn't expect the guy in suit to be wearing a spiked bat.
It doesn't
It's
mention
different.
anything about.
I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't mention anything about. You know, the time was before I left.
Cannabis is my primary
What the?
Really?
It's
Aren't
long,
they supposed to be like fucking massive?
Interesting. Where does it say that you come from at the very beginning then?
And even in comparison to your height, aren't they
She's
supposed
gonna
to be,
like show you
at
that
least same
that
height,
looks like
a
that
little
there were
bit taller
pages
than the
torn
dude
out.
wielding them? It's supposed to be like a fucking tree chog. It looks
Ah, I see.
more like a baseball bat with spikes in it.
to be fair.
I guess that your story, well, at least the pages of it are out there somewhere else.
Aria.
Okay.
Never one might. There's a
See
good
ya.
chance you could probably find them. I'm sure.
In the Metaverse of all
Maybe.
places.
I mean, I'd use my
I mean, you found the book.
basketball,
Why not
so-
find the pages?
I get that, yeah. You kind of look at a certain person and think, yeah, I could definitely use them as sports equipment.
Not
so
that
I
I'm
guess I'd
complaining
fuck
that
with
they're
it.
not in there. I'd rather not.
Thank
Although
have to
most
remember.
things don't really bounce like how you want them to.
Hmm,
You just have
fair
to
enough.
pick them up and shoot. There's no dribbling.
Understandable.
Exactly.
Is there no parts of your
Location really cute.
home that were important to you?
No small
Some
things.
people like to say, grab and
It's just when
Especially those guys who carry around like
You
they have like
find
those
out that
tiny
everything
little
around you
companions
wasn't
that
real.
Are kind of just there. Sometimes they do
You
something,
know.
sometimes they don't. I always just think, you know, like I get into a
I
fight
mean,
with
you're
these guys
real.
and they got their little companion friend or some shit like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna fuck up your little friend here first, dude. Why did you bring him along?
I don't know how.
Not wrong. Not wrong. And also
I don't know
Curious,
how.
curious things.
Not the familiar thing.
I don't know why no one else in the book
I mean, I'm not talking about like
managed to
summoning
get
and shit.
out.
I mean, if
I
there's
don't know why it was
obviously
just
someone
me.
summoning shit, I'm just beelining it for the main guy.
Well.
Usually, whatever they're summoning doesn't
Hey,
have a pack a
Raymond.
punch to,
How
you
are
know,
you?
stop me
Madam
from just
Q, are you
fucking
free?
slamming them for the first thing.
Need to
But I'm
ask you
talking like, you know, little sidekicks or like the fairy companions. so
If
people got
you
the little
both will
drones behind
excuse me,
them.
yes,
just
I
snag those
can
things first
take
and shove
myself
them.
away from my conversation.
Of
Usually pretty
course.
cruel sometimes because they're like kids or something. They're like, I don't know, like 9 to 16.
Feel
I
free
kinda feel
to
bad
speak
punching
with
the shit
Aria
out of them.
someone.
Like,
I
hey,
think
man,
she'd
you
quite
fucking feel
enjoy
bad
hearing
it's your
about
fucking
you.
fault, not mine.
Okay.
Isn't it a little stuffy wearing a gas mask around all the time? Or you like traumatized and can't take it off or some shit like that?
Yeah, I
Cybernetics,
came from
that's
a
my face.
storybook.
Oh shit, that makes
Now
sense.
that's interesting.
Yep.
I fuck with that.
I am curious as to how that came to be, but
Well, for your lungs, right?
if you don't remember, I guess.
Bit of throat and lungs.
Oh, I do remember. I just... It's not really...
You know, most of the guys I meet who wear gas
Well,
masks 24/7
if it's-
I got
do it for, like,
really
aesthetic, so I always
angry
kinda have to
at
ask,
someone,
what the fuck's the
and
purpose for it? That's
I
actually
started
pretty
standing up for
cool.
myself, and
To be fair, most
they
of the
told
guys
me
I
that
meet who
that's
have
not
gas
how the
masks
story
on are
goes, and then
psychopaths, so they kinda
before
have
I knew
those,
it,
like,
I was
scary
standing in a
24/7s,
room with
kinda public business.
my author.
Back home, there's some
Hmm.
Then I ran away.
always have gas masks. Of course, their places are
Well, that's
not
interesting.
hospitable, so you kind of need to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. You know, people now these days, they be walking through like slumlord shit, lower bottom half of every city. I mean, it's perfectly fine to start wearing filters and shit. The gas masks are kind of archaic in that matter, but hey, whatever you got works, right?
So how does your, I guess, your
For me,
book
it's kind
work
of,
then?
well, it's my face. You take it
If
off,
you add to it, it adds to you?
It's not fun.
I'm not really sure. I just found it, and at first I got a little scared because I thought the author was messing with me, but
Plastic.
I looked through the pages and I saw that new ones were getting added
Iron shit, right?
as days went on with me having it,
They put
Yeah.
the log there.
That actually
as if it was writing
Not
itself.
even iron, it's plasteel.
So is it writing events as you initiate them, or is it writing events that are not what you're doing?
That makes sense. But due to
It's writing events that I'm being involved in, mostly.
So then, for example, it is writing down our conversation right now.
And hacks your fucking brain, shuts off your lungs.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, for me, this is more of a needed replacement. Gas bombs are not fun. I'll leave it at that.
Although I guess I'm curious then,
I mean, some of them are pretty good.
what
Some
happens
of the
when you
old
run out of
ones,
pages?
Dudes will be suffocating in them or out of them, you know?
That's what I'm worried about. But it's a really thick
I grew up
manuscript.
more since you convert to a chemical weapons facility.
Hmm.
Entire planet. So you can imagine the stuff they had there. One so much mild
Workplace
suffocation more.
accidents.
I guess the best way to look at it then it would be not to dwell on
Not
it.
workplace accident, actually. Gang wars. Down the bottom, I've seen these things.
Live your story as you want to
Yeah,
live
but
your
yes,
story.
sir, access to such things. They ain't
You are, after all,
That's what
the
Q
story.
said too.
Shit.
Hmm.
What? You got bionic skin too?
You are the story, after all.
Actually, no, thankfully the rest.
We all are our stories, if you think about it.
I mean, shit.
We just don't
If
get
you're going the whole
to,
anti-chemical weapons
well,
thing, you
perhaps
might
see it the
wanna
way that you see it.
get something that's a little
You see the book being written
protect
about
your
you.
skin, you know? Some of that shit corrodes your skin. Ooh, I have seen some.
But we're all
nasty
living a
images
story
from
one
guys.
way or
They're
another.
on my side, but I hate to be the other dude's
All of our choices, all of our conversations, what we see, what we do, what we say, what we feel, what we think.
I mean, like, you know, just
It's
to
all
be
a
fully
story,
prepared
if you
against
think
them.
about
Some
it.
people are real specialized against what they're going up against, you know? Certain, like, hazmat divisions and shit like that. Never hurts to have a
And I would be willing to bet
Though if
that
that
when
was in my pay grade,
your story
service was basically
reaches its
all
conclusion,
basic Navy grunt.
that it will be a wonderful story to go back and read.
You know, be rich enough and privileged to get that shit.
I mean, I'm not really sure. I don't, aside from what happened to me, I don't really live much of an exciting life anymore.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Going out and meeting people is still a story in and of itself.
Those things creep the fuck out of me. I don't know how anybody
You know what
like
a servitor? You know what a servitor
Yeah,
is?
they're them little they put your brain in a machine so it's cheaper than a computer, right?
Something like that. More of a violent tech heresy.
It's like, I don't know exactly how they work. I just know that there's some dude who, like, I've seen defeated minimum wage workers buying my shit, alright? The servitors take that kind of depressing.
I love how collectively
just already lost at life.
I can hear booming coming out of everyone's mouths around me.
Q was saying apparently it's some kind of reality terror or something. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean,
going on right now. And it's affecting everyone.
Could be worse.
It is annoying to say the
Actually,
least.
no, I don't think it can be worse. That's pretty bad.
A little bit. I'm not a big fan of loud noises.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be worse. It could be recycled, but at least you're dead.
I mean, yeah, the dead are dead. Living like that is not fun. I always thought about what it'd be like if I just popped one of those things open, took the brain out, and then put it in something else just to see if I could bring the guy back. But I think they lobotomize him or some shit like that.
I think it's some of the tech priests do, and I don't know fully what the hell goes on.
Oh, that threw me off.
I mean, I've been around a few
I saw the dog, and for a second I thought it was my dog. I got a little concerned. I was like, why is he here?
Oh dear.
Expansive.
I'm more or less like dipped in.
He was at home when I left him. When I left, why is he here? Why'd he follow me? How'd he get out?
Kind of are the same, so I assume, you know.
Well, as long as it's not your actual dog, then I think you're just fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, same shit, different world.
Yep.
I'm sure if it was my dog, he'd come running up anyway. He's very protective of me, I've noticed.
Though usually when you do come by him, I'd rather I didn't.
Can't say I'm unique. Aside from a metal face, I'm just some guy. Keep it that way, to be honest.
I mean, being average isn't so bad. Yeah. As long as you don't have ambitions for the fucking universe and shit like that.
Q always seems to be busy whenever I come around.
I've gathered that about them.
I just live a damn life.
There's someone really important, so it's understandable.
They are rather nice to talk to.
Yeah.
They actually, they saw me when I first came to this world, and they tried to calm me down, but I was so panicked I ended up running away. I felt really bad afterwards.
Colorful characters who think they're better than everybody else, and then aren't too nice whenever they get proven wrong. Well, I haven't proved anybody wrong here, but I've proved people wrong in general, and I could assume two things happen the same way. Kind of eyeball it too. Though, as far as I've looked, I have yet to notice anybody of the, how do I put it, upper echelon of fuck around and find out. No, not superiority complex. I know the most superiority complex person in existence, it's me. I'm talking about like the real S-list, A-list fighters. I've seen like 3 A-listers.
Oh, Flux, my goodness.
I definitely can tell that people walk around and, you know, exist in a place like this. There's gotta be some real high honchos.
Flux is scary.
It is. And very annoying.
That's kinda why I haven't fucked around too much.
No bloody idea.
What? You haven't seen any
We
shit
didn't
like
have it
that?
where I was from.
I've noticed it a bit more lately, but then, well,
There's like this one blue guy called Higgs.
deal with it as you do. It's just frustrating.
Usually have a good eye for it, so I can kind of tell.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, it's not like a bad thing that there aren't that many. It usually just makes my job easier, but, you know, you never really want to be too lenient about who exactly fucks around artist.
And what's your
You judge one person wrong,
They're just
and
having a
suddenly
long
you're done for.
conversation.
I've seen people make that mistake before. Not a pretty one.
Oh, hope it's not anything too serious.
What is your job?
It's how do I put this in a way that doesn't make me sound
I think I might head out
exactly what I
soon.
actually am?
Me too. Oh, do you want to see something I can do?
Throw it around. It's not
Sure.
gonna stop me, but it's not exactly by
Apparently a lot of people think it's really
I'm
cool.
proud of it, but it's usually not something you're
I'd
supposed
be
to take
interested
too
in
much
seeing
pride
it.
in. I'll just say
She's gonna reach down, she's gonna pick up a rock, and the moment she touches it and picks it up, it's gonna turn into a sketch of a rock. Like a two-dimensional sketch.
real people. Like the real high-end.
Oh, now that is interesting.
Randy ass mercenary with a machine gun. don't
Apparently,
sound like they
it
have
looks
that
normal
job.
to me
They
still,
have
but
that
apparently
place
to
and
other
shit
people it
ton of money.
doesn't.
It's more like
It looks like a drawing of a rock, the one that you picked up.
She's gonna drop it, and the moment she lets go of it, it's gonna go back to looking normal.
You know they actually let you keep them. Like whenever
How
you get to like the
fascinating.
highest point, they actually just straight up let you fucking keep the
But
briefcase.
that's why my clothes look like this too, apparently.
I wouldn't know.
Hmm.
Although they usually like the briefcase is like a part of the charge. Yeah, I mean obviously.
Interesting.
That, but it's like if you ever think, you know, have I made it yet? If they're handing you the briefcase and they let you keep it, and it's like a nice briefcase, you've made it. It's not like
I'm still not sure why that
all
happens,
you
but
really need is
Hmm.
keen eye, honestly, and like a shit ton of power.
I couldn't begin to posit an explanation, so.
It's a pretty high point. too.
Welcome
It's-
back
it's
here.
a pretty good bet. Just get like a bunch of like
Thank
really
you.
long
Thank
weapons
you.
and shit.
I was
and you
just
can make
showing
pretty
her
good
the thing I could do whenever I grab things.
But I mean, after that,
Oh
you got
yes, how curious objects change
I
form.
think you can. You seem to be
for
real
you.
enough and know your shit. I can tell by the way you walk, by you
Even though they look normal to me still.
probably go up a couple tiers.
Do they now? I didn't know that fact.
Going through my training right now myself.
Yeah, when I was eating that apple when we first started talking, it still looked like a normal apple to
For
me.
the most part, though, yeah. Work one more humanitarian group. That make really sense. Helps me learn
What's an
to
Aegis?
ages. Crazies. Yeah, here it's more like a humanitarian style.
Oh, Snowbell's here.
Get hard out together. Help out with shit that's gone wrong or
Yeah, no, she's coming over.
help people in general.
Hi, Snowbell.
What's it going on? You know, it's your
Oh,
end
she's
goal.
following you.
Yeah, I'm following. I got summoned.
So far,
They're right behind you, buddy.
Yeah, he's
You have an egg.
I'll be back.
superiority first, everything else can go
Hmm.
down.
She had an egg.
Now living here.
She does indeed.
In institutionalized religious race.
Oh, she's having more children.
I mean,
Sounds like
get
it
real.
really. I'm just trying to live a bloody life.
It's not a
Oh,
bad thing to have
lovely.
ambitions. If you don't have ambitions, you can't take opportunities. You
I
know,
think though that I'm going to go and head
even if
out
you
for the
don't
night.
realize your ambitions or your goals or your dreams and shit.
Very well.
It was nice meeting you.
I quite enjoyed your company tonight, and I hope to see you again.
Oh, I'm sure we will see each other again.
You stay the same. You don't lose anything for not
But it
doing
was
anything,
an enjoyable
but you lose the opportunity
conversation
to do things
with both of
when
you.
don't want to do things, so to speak.
That's it.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to you too.
I will wish you both a pleasant night. And I will see you both later.
Have a good night.
And you as well.
I mean, that's pretty simple. I mean, that's a pretty,
Moralistic kind
Hmm.
of life goal. I don't know.
How interesting.
Both for lung cancer, I got a 1. Oh, fun.
Did the glasses heal that?
I don't know.
Oh wow, just missed Sachi. Oh well. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna call it there for tonight. I'm gonna go pay a visit to someone, and I cannot stream it, so I am going to call it here for tonight. And let's see, who is live right now? Actually, I think I might just go send you to Kimmy. Let me see. Yeah, why don't I just send you all over to Kimmy? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. It was interesting going to the Lying Fork. I think hopefully the next time I come back, and Aria will come back. Ebb and Flo will be here, which will be fun. She has very much expressed a desire to meet them, so. But yeah, go give Kimmy some love. And I will see you all tomorrow night for Worlds Apart, which is going to be fun. And there is going to be some I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun conversations that are going to be had, and I am looking forward to it. So, go give Kimmy love. She is wonderful. And I will see you all tomorrow night. Take care, everyone. Good night.